Hello, everyone. I'm privileged to introduce our panelists, Dr. Amy Applebaum, Chairman of the Israel Innovation Authority, Mr. Jackie Bear, the Chairman and CEO of Tempo, Stav Erez, partner at Labs 02, our Jerusalem incubator, Ohana, the Mayor of Yerucham, and Mike Dick, the CEO and founder of C2A Security. So the biggest surprise today that we're supposed to have Anya Eldan, which is great, but we are honored to have, instead of it, Dr. Amy Applebaum that said that he's willing to come, although he spoke also yesterday night, and to join this panel, so we are thankful for that. So let's start with a trivial question. I mean, you're a government and you're using taxpayers' money. Why would you invest this money in startups, risk our money, the taxi drivers' money, everyone's money, in startups, which is quite dangerous investment?
Quite high risk, but if you look at Israel, you see the return that we all see, that we got into become a startup nation. And we become privileged to have so many startups that grew up into a unicorn. And unless the government will put the money where there are market failure, then you will not have those vehicle or those platform for companies that are at some side of where the VC don't want to go yet, or private investor don't want to go. That's where you want the government to intervene. You want the government out as soon as the private sector take off. And I think to create this opportunity for startup at a point that no one will listen to them yet, and we see it day in, day out, or to create a platform like Incubators, that we'll talk more about it later, that no one else, and we just heard earlier in your part in the auditorium there, that other country looking astonishing what's happened in Israel and how that happened. And for us, what we look is to create a full ecosystem and to put our money where there are market failures and where entrepreneur, even large companies, we give money even for large companies where we see that their own board of directors will not invest because the opportunity is so high, the risk is so high, and board don't agree to invest.
So maybe you can just shortly explain what exactly is the IIA, the Israel Innovation Authority, not about incubators yet. What is this?
Israel Innovation Authority is a bridge between the public sector and the private sector. What it means, the bridge, usually the public sector, the government take the private sector money, right? They put tax and they take the Israel government got really enlightening 49 years ago actually, and said we will do the other way around. We will take public money, we'll give it for the private sector only for research and development and only for differentiated technology, something that it's really, really unique. For 49 years, that process is going on, where my job is to make sure that I will continue what my old predecessor did for 49 years by providing fund into research and development, into differentiated technology around all spectrum of product life. It could be technology transfer, it could be entrepreneur, it could be small and medium-sized company, it could be even large companies. But only if it's differentiated, if it is where we identified market failure, that's what Israel Innovation Authority does.
And you do it without taking any equity, just funding the companies.
What we do is actually, yes, the answer to the question, yes, we don't take any equity, and on top of it, if you get money from us, it's conditional loan. You get the money in different percentage, and if your innovation start and your company succeed, then you pay us back only the principal, no interest. We don't take interest, only the principal, 3 to 5% annually. of the revenue that product that we funded is generating. If it's even large company, we don't take 3% of the company revenue. We take only for that product. The better news is, if the product fail, then the loan is being forgiven.
Yeah.
Ask your OurCrowd VC if they would be willing to give such a condition. Of course not, because they are committed to their investors.
That's right.
Our investors are all of you, are all the Israeli inhabitants. Those are our owners and shareholders. And the fact is that on every dollar that Israel Innovation Authority put in startups, in all kind, startup and development, we get back, the government, the country get back $5 to $8 or 5 to 8 shekel. Everyone on the long run, 5 to 8, and other even say beyond that.
Thank you. Jacques, you're a CEO and chairman of a traditional industry company, Tempo. So first, can you just tell us about Tempo, what it is?
Okay, briefly put, we're probably the broadest portfolio of beverage entities in Israel. So we cover everything from plain water, going via Pepsi, beer, wine, spirits, etc., energy, and so forth. And we do that employing some 1,200 people, which in Israel means 1,200 innovators. And
good luck.
Yes, we need that. So, but it is the good part of Israel as well. And it meant that a couple of years ago I was turning around and I saw seeds of innovation popping up in every venue of what we were doing. We were talking about novelty in ingredients. We were talking about new products development. We were seeing ventures within both marketing with artificial intelligence, both route to market developments in terms of IT, and again, in the sales force, AI, and so forth. So a lot of development was coming up, and it was not very structured. It was very segmented, sporadic. And I felt that, well, number one, obviously, it became very evident that innovation was part of the new strategy. It was part of the new life in any business, both traditional and non-traditional. In fact, probably more challenging for the traditional than the non-traditional, because so much more has to be done and can be done. So we decided if we have to do it, and if this is going to be part of our life or our business life, it has to become institutionalized. It has to be done professionally. Now, to do that, we looked around and we said, okay, how are we going to do that in the best way? And we looked for, first of all, to partner with somebody in real life, just like we are the beverage. We partnered with Tnuva, who is obviously number one, covering the food segment of Israel. So together, we cover the real industries of both food and beverages, which are, for us, the main purposes of food tech. Aligned with that, we had to seek out the best in class also in the financing world, because it will serve nothing if we will have great startups which we cannot properly fund to stage 2 and 3. So we aligned with OurCrowd on the one hand, Finister on the other hand, both specialists in their field, and we formed this entity which tendered for the incubator in the north of Israel in Kiryat Shmone, which is called Fresh Start, and which the great team of the IAA, headed by our friend here, Ami, and they basically, we were lucky to see that they saw things very much like us. We thought we had a very winning combination of participants, because each one of us brings to the table also the background of our partners, stakeholders. So we have the worldwide connections with Pepsi Cola and Heineken and Pernod for us, Nuvas China, and of course the international networks of OurCrowd and Finister. All of that together created a very formidable group, and I can tell you, as we speak now, there are probably 2 of the first ventures will be approved within the next month, hopefully in Kiryat Shmone, and good luck for the rest.
I just want to make one clarification. It's not because I'm a friend of any of those organizations. It's because that was the best submission, most professional and most promising, and the biggest impact on Kiryat Shmone. That's why you got the tender.
Thank you for saying that.
Thank you very much.
Stav, so please tell, by the way, Stav is partner at Labs 02, the Jerusalem incubator. This is actually our first incubator. And because of Stav and her team and did such a successful work, and we will speak about it with Mike, we ended to build 4 more incubators. So it's your fault that we have right now 5. So tell us about the incubator. What exactly is the incubator? How does it look like from the inside? And what is your daily job?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So our daily job is basically pretty similar to any other VC, an early stage one. We meet early stage companies, people with ideas all the time, and we decide which one we want to invest in and which one is not. We have a couple of things that are pretty unique to Labs 02. We do make investments in companies that come to us with an idea, but we also do venture creation. So we work alongside, we have a partnership with the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, with ISUM, and we meet professors and we talk to them about their IP. And we're going through an ideation process where we actually build the company. We find a product market fit. We're bringing the first POCs. We're building the team. So this is the 2 things that we're doing while investing. And during the incubator, we work with the companies on their positioning and strategy and how to stand on a stage and their product market fit and their marketing efforts. And we're bringing mentors from on product and on sales. And basically, we do whatever they need to succeed. And our KPI, we have one, to bring them the additional funding. So once they're ready, we're taking them hand in hand to meet other investors to bring them the additional funding.
Yep. Thank you. Tal, I mean, there's the chairman of the Israel Innovation Authority. I understand why he's here. Jackie Bear is partner in our incubator. I understand why he's here. Stav is partner at Labs 02. I understand why he's here. And Mike is a CEO of a company in the incubator. Why are you here?
Good question, Ori. I'm proud to be here.
So who are you and what do you do in your daily job? And then you can answer my question.
So, for the last 1 year and 3 months, I'm the mayor of my hometown, Yerucham. I spent before...
Correct me if I'm wrong, sorry for interrupting. You're the youngest mayor in Israel, are you?
No, Kiryat Shmone is the youngest.
By the way, another town that maybe that's the reason why we win our incubators. If we look for a very young entrepreneur mayor, and then we build an incubator.
I'm the youngest woman as a mayor in Israel. We are only 14 out of 257 municipalities.
Women.
Yes. Wow. So I'm here because I'm really grateful, for the National Authority of Innovation. I'm grateful for you and Perigo that are also in the crowd. I'm here to say that, the early news I got after I was elected is that 2 of my factories are going to close.
Sorry, for people here that in the crowd that are not from Israel, Yerucham is a small town in the periphery, in the Negev, in the south, which makes it much more challenging in terms of employment and job creation.
Yeah, so after many years being dependent upon a traditional industry, 2 more factories are going to close, and everyone asking me, what are you going to do? Hundreds of families will be without jobs. And I said, this is the best opportunity for us. Why? Because we want technology. We want high technology. And when I start my journey at that field, after many years in education, I understand that my only way to attract companies to come to Yerucham is to create partnership with the government and with the business sector. This three side of the partnership. For me, the fact that I'm sitting here today and we are going in few weeks to open Incubator in Yerucham for medical cannabis with medical devices and other things inside. It's a huge pride. I think that if I want to plan my future, I see 6 clusters. I see the pharmaceutical companies and Perigo, which is our highest and biggest asset, now hiring 668 workers and the R&D unit inside. I see clean tech, I see desert tourism, I see the military industries and drones and other things, but without governmental and semi-governmental investment, creating partnership with the municipality and private sector, we could not reach those goals. We cannot win in this challenge to bring technology to the periphery of Israel.
I can just tell you, because we were in touch with the whole process to win this this tender, I can tell you, you want to be on Tal Ohana's side. You don't want to be on the other side, because she's tough. She's tough on the negotiation, and he's tough on everything. Mike, can you tell us about yourself and about your background in NDS?
Okay, so does this work?
Yeah.
Okay. Many years ago, I'm a little bit of a strange animal in the startup zone, because I'm a little bit older than most of the founders and probably all the employees in C2A. Most of them are younger than my children, but anyway. Many years ago, we started a company. I was one of the founders of a company called NDS, Conditional Access for Pay TV, a Jerusalem company, which in 2012 was sold to Cisco. As part of that deal, I had to remain on in Cisco for 2 years. But when we were still at NDS, we started looking at other opportunities other than Pay TV. And one of the opportunities we looked at was cybersecurity for automotive. And we started a team to deal with that. And we had lots of success. We had contracts with car manufacturers, General Motors, Fiat Chrysler, many of the car manufacturers. But Cisco, for their reasons, decided that this is not part of their business plan to get into automotive. So that team was closed down. And when I left Cisco, some of the guys approached me and said, if you start a company for cybersecurity for automotive, we're in with you. So that's how we started 3.5 years ago. I went to Mass Challenge before the incubator. Did what a young entrepreneur would do when he wants to start a business. Through Stav, we got to Labs 02. Joined Labs 02, and since then we've left we've graduated from Labs 02. We're now running our own business. We have new investors, and hopefully we'll be on the start for the next NDS.
So, Mike, you're not old, you're experienced. And you spent a few years in this area, in the ecosystem. So why do you need an incubator? You can just come to OurCrowd, get some money, angels' money, VC's money. Why incubator?
So there were a few reasons for incubator. Firstly, I think that it doesn't matter how much experience you got. You can always learn. You never know everything. You just have to be at this today here, to be able to see the connections and the amazing summit that we have today, to be able to see what it is that OurCrowd can bring to the table for any entrepreneur. I don't have to explain it. You just have to come here and see. So that was, the first reason to be connected to OurCrowd. The second reason, as a startup, you want to focus all your time and effort on trying to build your business and grow your business, and not necessarily on all the things that go around it, whether it's HR or finance, running the books, paying the salaries, CFO, all the things that run around that. As a startup, firstly, you can't afford them, really. And secondly, other people who've got lots of experience will probably do it better than us and teach us how to do it on an ongoing basis, which is exactly what happened with the OurCrowd incubator that we joined. So for us, it's been a very positive journey.
Awesome. Ami, the chief scientist's office, correct me if I'm wrong, started in the early 70s. But
71.
71. The incubator program started in the 90s.
20. Right.
So why incubators program? What's unique there? Why opening another program for the IIA?
You mean the new one now or the 20 years ago?
The 20 years ago, the incubator program.
So, first of all, I have to admit I was shocked with what you said. I think you are the only Israeli that I know that say that he doesn't know everything.
Because he wasn't born
It's
here.
amazing.
He was born in South Africa, not here.
Finally, I found an Israeli that he doesn't know everything. So the point, as I said before, for incubators, is that you want to provide a pre-seed money to entrepreneurs, individual, small companies, where they cannot raise money yet, and they don't know everything. If most of them come based on technology, so they are technologists, typically physicists or biologists, so they are very life science or engineering. They are not necessarily from the business side. So if you want to have a success startup, you need what I call always a full ecosystem. Exactly as you said, you need to recruit people. You need to recruit them professionally. If you are the startupist that just have to think about your next algorithm, how do you know how to recruit people? You need to run, of course, all the financial books. The most important is you need to start with the customers, and you need to start with the marketing to see if your idea that you so believe on it, are you really solving any problem, or the problem only in your head? And are you really going to serve any purpose for customer who will be willing to buy your stuff? Usually, entrepreneurs are blinded. They don't see it. So if they go to incubators, they get professional business development. They see professional marketing people. And all of a sudden, instead of thinking only on their technology, somebody challenged them from the back end of this whole story. So I think that incubators at Israel Innovation Authority today have 20 incubators, is one of the most successful programs that we have. We have many of the incubators in the periphery of Israel. And now I will answer a question you didn't ask about the second round, what you got now, which is, we called it innovation in the periphery, or periphery incubator. Why periphery? Part of the job that we see in Israel Innovation Authority is to break the barriers of the center of Israel. We would like to have high tech in the periphery because we are short of resources. You go to the north part of Israel, there are thousands of engineers who don't want to come to Tel Aviv. And if you want to break this barrier of shortage of talent, you need to spread out. You need to go out. And if you go to places where you can get more talent and you bring job to that place, what we wanted in the new periphery, in new incubators in the periphery, is that they will stay there. In our old program, we saw many startups that started in the periphery. Once they graduated the incubators, they moved back to the center of Israel. Then what's the deal here? We want to put the government money in the periphery to have entrepreneurs in the periphery that they will stay there. So we want anchors. We want anchors like Perigo. We want anchors like the defense industry in the south. We want anchors like the academia in the south, in Beer Sheva or in the north in Ort Braude. That's what you want. If you have the residents of the region, even that they bring some expert, the residents of the region, you have the industry of that region, you have the academia of that region, the odds that that startup will stay in the periphery is much, much higher.
So if I may say, your final goal is not only innovation, it's creating a prosperity in the whole country.
Absolutely.
Maybe that's the reason why you're not under the Ministry of Science, but under the Ministry of Economy.
Yes. Don't take me there. That's a slippery road for me.
Okay.
I tell you that. My belief that the startup nation is the previous millennium stars or previous millennium say. It's built a huge, it's changed the attitude toward Israel, it's a reputation that it's unbelievable. But here we have business people. What is the value if you invest in startup and invest and invest and invest and you never see the return, the big return? What did you do? There is no impact on Israel economy from a startup who does not turn into a unicorn, into a big business, into creating jobs. Then you're just investing. You never get the return. And what we want in Israel Innovation Authority is actually to make a bigger impact on Israel economy, to go from startup nation, previous millennium, to scale-up nation. I have a better say, from startup nation to smart-up nation. And smart-up that you, all of us in Israel, will get a better return from our startup nation in our economy. Look, we are number 21 in GDP per capita. We are number 1 in innovation. Why we are only 21 in GDP per capita? Because our high-tech industry does not proliferate enough value to Israel economy. I'm sorry to say it, but that's reality, and that's our job, to turn it around. And if you want to turn it around, go to area where you have more people. Go to area where you can get new resources. Bring more investors. Look what happened when OurCrowd got into Kiryat Shmone. OurCrowd did not go to Kiryat Shmone. I mean, but now with the incubators in Kiryat Shmone, not all OurCrowd, they brought from San Diego another investor who would not go into San Diego to go to Kiryat Shmone. Really? They can go to Silicon Valley. We got a Tempo, we got Tnuva. They had some factory, I think, in the north. But look what now they are about to embark on for institution that now can change Kiryat Shmone for good. And I don't want to talk about cannabis because that could be even bigger.
Okay, Jackie, you said before that...
I must correct him for a small note and say, go not to the place there are more people, but go to the place there are the best people. And they are in the periphery of Israel.
I agree. Jackie, you explained before why, although you are a traditional company, you want to invest in innovation. And we hear all the time that companies without innovation will disappear. It's just a matter of time. But why do you need to drive the car? I mean, you could decide, you know what, I'll pick the right company in 5, 10 years, I'll see what they do, and I'll take the right company that is good for Tempo. But you're on the wheel, holding the wheel, driver of this incubator, choosing the companies from the very beginning. Why?
So following up a little bit on what Ami said, I mean, I think if innovation is the order of the day, we want to be there in the front seat, because time is of the essence, and we really have to move up to the next level where we have gone from copying and doing what other people have developed to really being there at the initiation stage. Because as you all know from this world, the intellectual process, and we see it even now with the first entities that we are analyzing, you go one direction, but suddenly you discover quite a few other very interesting aspects which can be relevant to another direction. And you want to be there to to help direct those efforts and to help stimulate the right directions as it happens, as it goes on. I think this interaction between industry and what we bring and the knowledge from the market and the ongoing process of the incubator is highly valuable in streamlining the efforts to what has the biggest chance of achieving what is the ultimate product or service that you want to achieve. That is number one. I would say that the other reason we wanted to be there, I think it's, and again, it has to do with the kind of company you want to have. And if you want to have innovation permeate everything that you do and become very much part of the core of your business and the things that people feel about, think about, go with, start their day, their order of the day, I think it's very important to be very close to that. Mm-hmm. So the ripple effect of being active participant in an incubator on a company, a traditional company like ours, is very high. And this is part of the vision. We want this to become the order of the day in the company. And this is why we went into that.
Thank you. Stav, can you just tell us some of the secrets inside of the incubator? How do you pick the companies? What are you looking for? What makes one company better than another? What are the challenges that you're facing in the daily job? Like with Mike, that could be your older brother, and okay, not your father, older brother, but and you still need to help him and mentor him in some way. So it's two questions actually. First, how do you pick the companies, what you're looking for? And second, how do you face these challenges?
So I think that with early stage companies, and we're usually the first money, it's all about the team. And probably all the VCs are saying the same thing, right? You probably heard it. But we don't have anything else. We have the team. So of course, we're looking about the technology that they already have, and if they can develop this technology, and if they're the people that can actually deliver what they're saying. But it's all about the people. So it's their background, but it's our interaction with them. We only invest in people that we want to work with. They need to be coachable. Like you said, the people who said that they know everything. So it can't be it. So if you're coming into an incubator, you have to be a person that understands that he can be taught, he can be taught. And by the way, we don't say to anyone what he needs to do. We can advise, we can help brainstorm, but we want people to want to be a part of this process. So basically the first thing that we're looking at are the people who are coming to us. And then we're looking on the market. So our due diligence, the companies doesn't have revenues. They don't have usually clients when they come to us. So we're using our network and OurCrowd's network and our partners. The incubator is also a partnership with Reliance Industries from India. So we're going around and we're talking to multinationals. So the companies that are coming to us usually already during the due diligence process that we're doing, they already have, they're already coming with a POC. So in the day that we're making the investment is usually also the day when they start a POC with a multinational. So this is how we pick them. And if we have a company that, we had a couple of companies, so we had to go and find and look for a couple of sectors until we found the product market fit. And then, only then, we were able to make the investment.
About the challenges that you're facing on a daily job?
The challenges? I think that maybe the biggest challenge is in the competition with other VCs, basically. You want to get the best people and you want to get the best companies. And I think that the best way that we're dealing with this is we changed our model a couple of times, and we now are facing a model that I think that we're pretty happy with. And we invest, we take the money basically that the government gives us, and we give even more. So our investment is $1.2 million. And the latest change that we made, we open up the investment up until $2 million. That only dilutes us. So we have one term sheet. And the founders are being diluted the same thing if they bring $1.2 million or $2 million. But we give them incentive to go ahead and bring additional funding so the companies can start and be pretty healthy from day one. think this is our best way to deal with this challenge.
Great. Tal, you're a dreamer, a visionary. How would the Yerucham look like in 5 years from now, after 5 years of this incubator, the medical cannabis incubator in Yerucham? What will be different?
After I was elected, I told my people we need 1,000 high salary jobs in 5 years. The situation now is that Yerucham unemployment rate is 11%. The national average is 3.2, 3.4. This is the situation, but more than that. The first news I got is Yerucham downgraded in the social economical cluster from 4 to 3. The meaning of that is that we have many young families, both of the couple working in full position and getting minimum salary. So their children, 4 in average, are poor. And I said, I cannot live with that fact. I want to create social mobility in my town. And my only way to do that, on top of my best education system, is to create quality jobs, quality opportunities. And for me, when I'm speaking with Lior, he might be in the crowd about spirulina cutting-edge technology factory that we are going to open in Yerucham in 3 months. I'm speaking about high salary position, 10,000 shekel minimum salary for worker. When I'm speaking with Perigo to open with us injection factory, not only because of the corona, but other strategic needs of Israel states, I'm speaking about that. So all what I'm doing from morning to night is to look for those opportunities. And I must tell you, Ori, we have no advantage. We have governmental tools. The government is paying back 30% of your investment, giving you subsidized in tax company for the first 5 years. You are not paying for the land. You will get discount in local taxes, many advantage. And we have the best people, as I mentioned before. But when I'm going to speak with those companies, with those entrepreneurs, I'm speaking about Zionism. This is the time to invest in the Negev and the Galil. And everyone who is, just look 10 years, 15 years ahead, forward, will see that the opportunities are already there. And I hope that more and more companies will come to locate in Yerucham and all the region. I hope, because you know what, as a mayor, I can do many things. No one asked me to create social mobility or economic development, but I'm doing that because I'm sure, really sure, we can be worthy to those opportunities, and I hope to succeed.
She deserves it. Just letting you know, as we said before, we are starting to operate an incubator in Yerucham. By the way, Jackie, your first company was also in Yerucham, right? Yeah, I wasn't mistaken. So
we just had the pleasure of reminiscing what Yerucham was like in the 70s, and actually it's a very
microphone.
It's a very nice success story with the 11% that you mentioned. But if I remember where you started from at that time, it's a true success story.
Yeah, so just
And
letting
good
you.
luck for the future.
So we had a partner. We have BOL Pharma. It's a great portfolio company of the incubator in the cannabis world, and we look for a third partner. And I spoke with Tal Ohana to really push it because she wanted it to be established in Yerucham. And she said, listen, you must speak with Sharon Kochan. By the way, is Sharon here? No. He's not here. Sharon Kochan is the head of Perigo Israel. This is the biggest, the headquarters are in the States and I think also in Ireland, right? But this is the biggest OTC company, over-the-counter drugs company in the world. And I called him twice, and most of his time he's not in Israel. He's actually in the States. And he asked me, what's the budget of the incubator? So I told him, he said, listen, my company is $5 billion revenues a year. It's noise. It's not for me. And on my third phone to him, because Tal Ohana asked me to do it again, he said, you know what? I'm doing it for one reason. I believe in it. It will be successful. It will take a few years. It will be good. I'm doing it because I'm Zionist and I want to support the Negev and Yerucham, and that's the reason why it happened. So it's a lot because of Tal. Mike, you're a success story, not only in NDS, but your company was successful in closing their first round, and now you're out of the incubator. You have your own offices in Malcha. So can you just tell us a bit about what happened? How much money did you raise? What are you doing now? Whatever you can share with us. I know you cannot share everything. And more than that, how did the incubator supported you in order to get to this stage that you can raise your first round?
Okay, so as I mentioned, we graduated from the incubator about 6 months ago, moved into the Ghana Technology, the technology park in Jerusalem, in Malcha, into our offices across the road from the
IAA.
Israel IAA. We raised an additional $5 million when we left the incubator, before we left the incubator, from Israeli VCs. And I think that, how did OurCrowd help us to do that? So firstly, we have at the moment 9 signed contracts that we're working on, projects around the world, with what they call tier 1s. Tier 1s are those that supply to the car manufacturers. 6 of those and another 3 contracts with car manufacturers, working on different technologies that we've developed over time. It's to do with having the right team, and it's to do about listening to what the customers need. There are different types of industries. There's a type of industry you can be an Apple, where you invent an iPhone and you invent a whole new market, and you convince the world that they need your new product. That's one way of doing it. There are very few of those. And most of those companies that try and go down that route fail. Some succeed like Apple, but not many fail. And there's another type of industry, especially in the automotive industry, which is a very old industry, where you have to listen to what the customers need and then provide them according to their needs, and not invent something that you think they need. And that's the route we went down. We speak to them on a general, ongoing basis, and we're developing products that they tell us that they need. And hopefully that will be the route to success.
Great. So, it's amazing because Ami was saying that they are putting their money, the government money, in these startups, and you said that OurCrowd wouldn't invest in companies that it's too risky and it's Kiryat Shmona. And someone smart told me a few years ago that the IIA, the Israel Innovation Authority, is but similar in some ways to a casino. Why? Similar, in specific, the house always wins. And I think it's a very, very, very important point, because OurCrowd, if we invest in Mike's company and he fails, we lose our money. But in terms of the government, you always win. And why is that? Mike said that he's coming from the automobile industry. When you think decades ago, we had the Susita, it was a failure. Then we had Better Place, and everyone thought that the Better Place is going to be the huge next thing, and they also failed. So the investors of Better Place lost their money. But today, dozens of companies with the know-how, with the lessons learned, with the IP of this company went out, and today Israel is leading in this industry, right? So the IA, the logic behind it is actually, it taxpayers' money, and we started from that, but actually it does make sense.
So,
in 60 seconds, because we need to...
The wisdom here is, in my mind, and I think it was set up by my predecessor that you know them, is, and I put it in my words, entrepreneurs are smarter than the government, period. And if you as a government say that the automotive will be the success story, if you would say it in 20 years ago, everyone would laugh at you. no one can predict what will be the success story of tomorrow, of 10 years from now. Yeah, we know it will be related to AI, it will be some quantum. The question is, what is the success story 5 years from now? I'm telling you, no one knows. If somebody tells you that he knows, like I see countries that say, oh, we will invest only in clean tech. Of course, clean tech is important, but no one say that that will be the unicorn or that's where the whole world will go. We see indication. So the way the chief scientist has been operating is that we spread the bet, if you like. Every entrepreneur that come have a great idea, like Mobileye 15 years ago. I can't take the credit. I was not there. The chief scientist gave them money. No one knew. No one could imagine where they will develop to. And I'm telling you that no one can predict today on 10, 15 years from now. My point is, we leave the decision to entrepreneur. If they have a great idea, they can persuade us that, and our professional evaluators, subject matter expert, that they have a breakthrough technology, something that can become a global product, that they see the customer, they tell us what problem they solved. Then we give them the money. Where entrepreneur and where VCs need one higher level of confidence. And not that they are the stupid guy and we are the smart guy. We have a different shareholders. We have a different vision. We have a different mission. Our mission is to create technology IP in Israel, create jobs in Israel. That's our mission. Their mission is to invest in VC, in successful project, in successful entrepreneurs, to make money.
The most amazing thing in your answer is that you haven't denied my comparison to a casino. That's nice.
Why should I? I think
no, it's fine.
It is, because no one, if you have to make decision that you have no base, real base and data to prove that you that it's successful decision, then it's a casino.
Yeah. So unfortunately we need to wrap up. So thank you very much all of you for coming. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day.